Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'll pull this a little bit closer so maybe you can hear me better. But I'm back from the doctor, and she did order the nebulizer machine for me and the little ampules, the medicine that goes in it. I didn't buy the machine yet because Medicare doesn't pay for it, and that's okay. I don't mind buying it. But I want to make sure that the medicine is either paid for by Medicare or that I can afford the medicine. I don't want to invest in a machine that I can't use because once it leaves the drugstore, there's no returning it. So I'm just waiting for Walgreens to call me back. They were waiting on a diagnostic code from my doctor so that they could turn it into Medicare and hope that Medicare does pay for the medicine. But I will be using the nebulizer regularly, and she did put me on an antibiotic because we do think that it has turned into a bacterial infection now. So, like I told y'all this morning, I just could not breathe. I mean, I just can't, with this asthmatic bronchitis, there's no way to get any breath in me. So it's pretty uncomfortable, and it is a little frightening. And I thought, well, my doctor did return from vacation. She was back in the office today. So I was able to see her and hope and pray that I'll be on the mend. And so, y'all, I just hate to keep hashing this crap up about my past. But this Laura Schilling out there in Las Vegas, she just won't let it go. What is your problem, you crazy woman? Why are you so obsessed with me? You eat, you drink, you sleep. Every minute of your life, you are consumed with Glenda Sullivan. Why? What is your problem? Why are you such a weak human being that you can't go and live your own life? Why do you have to pick on a little country girl that's just sitting here in a little dinky, rinky studio apartment trying to survive, and you're out there sitting on your high horse in your country club home just as miserable as you can be? Because if you were happy, you wouldn't be picking on me all the time and trying to dredge up my past and everything. Everybody knows my past. I have been in jail many times, so many times I don't even remember all the times, mainly because I was on drugs. So you can just put out all the trash that you want because my subscribers love me and they hate you. And they're sick of you, and I am sick of you. So I'm warning you, you had better lay off. You've done enough damage, you crazy psycho woman. Go see a mental health professional. You need help. I mean, I am far perfect compared to you. What I've done in my past is nothing compared to what you're doing right here and now. At least I'm not still out there shoplifting and committing sins. You are. You're disgusting, and you're a piece of crap, and you don't even deserve to walk on the earth or to breathe the same air that we breathe. So knock it off, you crazy psycho. So go ahead and make your little announcement about the shoplifting charge, 4 or 5 years ago. And it's not Eaton County, you idiot. It's Eaton Town. It was at the Monmouth County Mall, okay? So what? So when I confess to all of my wonderful subscribers that I shoplifted, only you're the only one who expected me to write everything out in perfect little detail. My subscribers don't care about that. My YouTube family loves me, and I love them. And they know how much I love them. Don't you guys? So, I've gotten so many emails from all of y'all supporting me and turning in this psycho out there. And, thank you. We've gotten 4 of her channels removed, struck down by YouTube. And we're working on the 5th one. She's got 2 strikes on it already, so we got 1 more to go. And we're going to get her taken off, and we're going to get her IP address taken off. I'm sick of it, and so are my 20,000 subscribers. Anyway, I want to talk about the dark periods in my life. When we give our testimony, all of us who go to church and we sometimes we can't wait till we see a special speaker, a guest speaker up there giving their testimony. You know, they give their testimony, and they'll talk about some of the dark times in their lives, and some of the terrible things that they've done, and how they're ashamed of their past. But they don't, write it out, number one, number two, number three. No, no. No, we don't do that in the Christian faith, okay? We just confess our sins, and we ask for forgiveness, and we receive forgiveness, and we accept it by God's grace, and we move on. You don't keep dredging up stuff and, trying to destroy someone and posting lie after lie after lie about them. We all know that you're a liar. You've proven it over and over, Laura Schilling. Anyway, like I was saying, the dark times in my past, all of us have them. I get emails every day from my subscribers who tell me about your past and about the hardships that you've gone through and about being abused by your parents. Sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And I always respond back because I feel like it's my job, as this platform that I have here on YouTube, talking about how terrible my life was, how terrible my childhood was, my marriage to this psycho fofi Scotty, and my marriage to an alcoholic, losing my son at the hands of a drunk driver, having to bury my son, see his body in a casket. What mother wants to go through that? I've been through trauma and tragedy and suffering, and I'm here to talk about it. I don't care about my shoplifting. Who cares? It was bad. Sure, it was bad. I broke the law. I'm a convicted felon. I've admitted it. I paid my price. I spent 4.5 months in the Orange County Jail. But you know what? That was the best 4.5 months of my life, because I spent it in the Christian dorm. And we had these church groups coming in and preaching to us and singing gospel music and reading the scripture. And yeah, I got some jailhouse religion. I sure did. And I'm proud of it. I'll never forget those days in that Orange County Jail in that Christian dorm. And, out of the dark times comes light. And the darker the time, the brighter the light. And you can take that to the bank because it's the truth. I'm here as testimony for that. Now, y'all know that I have also attempted suicide. I can't even remember how many times, but I know twice I had to be, they had to do CPR on me and resuscitate me. And, I didn't even realize really how crazy and desperate and sick I was until, I was looking through the Bible and looking at the births and the dates and all that, and I came across this, look, Record of Deaths, Jeremy Lynn Sullivan. And this just shows how desperate I was. Glenda Hargrove Sullivan. I whited it out because I didn't want y'all to see it. But that was my last suicide attempt. And I really wanted to die. And I just thank God that I did not die, because I have the most precious daughter and precious son, and my precious little Issa, and my little Ife. Thank you so much, dear God, for letting my friend Doug find me. And he called 911, and they got me to the emergency room in time, and intubulated me and pumped out my stomach. I still have a scar from that. I have a little scar on my nose where they stuck that tube in there so hard it messed up my nose. And but I was so sick and desperate that I actually drove to the pharmacy and picked up a brand new bottle of Valium. They were 10 milligrams each, and there were 80 in the bottle, and I took every single Valium. 800 milligrams, and it's only by the grace of God that I survived it. In fact, when I was in the hospital, the doctors called my sister Bobby and told her to, she needed to come pull the plug on the ventilator that was keeping me alive. So she drove from Lumberton, and I was in the hospital in Bay St. Louis. That's where I was living at the time. And when she got there, I was wide awake and talking. So, it was just a miracle. God knew. He had plans for me. He had plans for my daughter, and had plans for Jill meeting Husani and their beautiful family. And so I just want y'all to know that even when you're in your very darkest, that God has you cupped in his hands. He's going to take care of you. So don't do anything stupid like I did, think that you need to end your life. You don't. I will leave some suicide prevention numbers in the description below. You just call and get help. Send me an email. I'm no professional, but I can listen, and I can tell you, what I did to get myself out of it. Now let's talk about bipolar and mental illness. Now, I've been bipolar my entire life. I can remember when I was 3 or 4 years old, I was always biting my nails and just anxious, and either anxious and all revved up and everything, or I was so depressed and didn't want to get out of bed and didn't want to play or anything. So it was this, you're either at the North Pole or the South Pole. Now, back in the 50s and 60s, there was no diagnosis of bipolar illness. And really, when I think it was probably called manic depressive, either you're manic or you're depressed. And then the treatment was lithium. But back in the 60s and 70s, people didn't go to psychiatrists and get on Prozac and Zoloft and all of the psychotropic drugs like we have available to us today. We treated it with street drugs or prescription narcotics. I've never used street drugs because I was always able to get the prescription narcotics from a physician. So I do blame, that ignorance of mine for not going to get help. Not seeing a psychiatrist and getting on some medicine that I needed. And, that was just my stupidity and my ignorance. To let my manic depression run out of control like that. And when you're manic depressive, you don't think rationally. I would just go into a store and just take something and walk out with it. And sometimes it would be intentional, and sometimes it would just be because I was in a drug-induced state. So yes, I do have a lot of shoplifting charges, but I'm not going to sit here and type them all out and put all the dates and the charges and this and that and the other. And, that one grand larceny I told y'all about when I walked out of dealers with those two Donna Karan cashmere sweaters. Yeah, that was a charge. They were $200 each, which fit into the 4th degree felony category. Anything over 300 but less than 5,000 does not indicate that I stole $5,000 worth. I would have had to have a freight train to carry out $5,000 worth of Donna Karan cashmere sweaters. And then when I transferred my probation from Florida to Mississippi, that's when I went into rehab to get help and better my life. That was transferred to the Mississippi Department of Corrections. That's not another larceny conviction. So it's just pure ignorance for people to just, go on and on about this and to keep, dredging this up. It's just pure ignorance. So, like I said, I took that Valium. I lived through that. Thank the good Lord, because now, I have moved past all of that. I'm a better person today. I'm the woman that finally, I think at 68 years old, I'm finally the woman that God has been working on for 68 years. I think I have finally turned my life around. I'm doing the best that I can right now. I'm trying to make an honest living by telling y'all little funny short stories about Southern living and growing up in the South. And yes, I embellish the stories, but what comedian or funny person doesn't ad-lib a little bit? It would be a boring life if I just sat here and told you, oh, boring old stories. I'm not going to bore you. I want you to have fun and be entertained. This is free. I'm not charging anything for it. I've never asked anybody to donate a cent to PayPal or Patreon. I've never had an Amazon wish list. So, I've never asked for anything. Now, when I go in the kitchen at the end of January and I don't have no money and no eggs, yeah, I'm going to count my eggs. I'm probably going to measure my milk because I might have a stick of brand new deodorant that I can return for $2 and buy me a half gallon of milk. That's not telling you to send me money, now is it? So, I'm going to read y'all the email that I got from Miss Laura Schilling, where she, she swears up and down that she did not send me the rotten food. But I have the email. She wrote it to me on Tuesday, February the 26th. Didn't you, Laura? Mm-hmm. Yep. 5:12 a.m. Laura Asterbilt. Yeah, she got this fancy name. Schilling's not good enough for her. She's got to be an Asterbilt. Would that be John Astor or would it be Gloria Vanderbilt? Oh, well. From Bowhead at, I won't give you her email address. She wrote, "You really are a piece of work. How do you imagine that I came to despise you in the first place? It was because of your racist rant about the woman in the bank. She happened to be black, and she had the hat and the stringy hair, So I can't describe a black woman? I mean, what's your problem, lady? I called you out on it, and your reply immediately showed who you were. When I'm bored, you're bored all the time, apparently. I wade through some of your muck, but not all of it. Funny, I have never ever once seen you point out in one of your little funny stories that someone was Caucasian. Trying to use the logic that you're not racist because your daughter married a man from Trinidad is, well, just stupid. Claiming that I sent you a racist note about your grandson is going to come back and bite you in the ass. Okay, so this has been 6 months now. My ass is still pretty chubby. You are such a liar, first of all. I don't even believe you received that email. It sounded just like you. Second, if you did, it would have an IP address that is not associated with me in any way, and you know it. As far as harassment, I kept your staged Whole Foods video where you specifically asked your viewers to send you food items. Yeah, let me see that video. I responded by kindly sharing perfectly good things from my kitchen. Oh, like your turkey bacon from Trader Joe's. Did you forget to cook up your husband some turkey bacon? Okay, so I responded by kindly sharing perfectly good things from my kitchen. Yes, some of these good things were in your AIP diet video, Miss Schilling. I shipped them to you at an address you posted many times on your channel. That's a lie. It wasn't necessary to take a screenshot. I wouldn't go to the trouble. Oh, yes, you would. If you remember, many times in your comments when someone wanted to send you something, you promptly put your street address in the comment section for them to use. I didn't want to send food, especially fresh food, to a P.O. box. I sent it during a time when it was sub-freezing, Oh, how sweet. Across the country and sent it by priority. Yeah, it's going to stay frozen in USPS warehouses. I didn't know you wouldn't be home for another week or so. I guess not. I bet you know now because you stalk me, don't you? You got all my neighbors stalking me too. Sign me up on that neighborhood watch list. Yeah, they scared. I hope you wrote it in Creole and Spanish. I guess you forgot in previously mentioned staged Whole Foods video that the food came to your home early in the morning. And you had no idea who it was from. No, I didn't, and I still don't know. Because it was given from someone's heart and soul. They want to remain anonymous, and they will. Well, they must have got your address the same way I did, from you typing it on your channel. Boy, this sounds like somebody that is very guilty. You added the garbage, you tore the box up. If you dare show your face at a police station, they would laugh at your claim of harassment. No, dear, they're not laughing. All I did was answer your request for viewers to send you food items. The deodorant I sent you was brand new and unopened. Since you were so poor, you had to return your deodorant to Walmart. Oh, well, you know, most of us are poor. We don't sit high and mighty on some Las Vegas country club where we probably can't even afford the golf sticks to play around the golf like you. They would laugh at your claim of harassment. Okay, so she sent me the deodorant. Since I was so poor, I had to return your deodorant to Walmart. Thought I would help you out so you wouldn't have to make and eat another stinky pie. Yeah, I need to make you a Mississippi mud pie like the help did. Since you've done research on me, I don't use the prison term for it. You probably know that my sister is a judge. Why would I know? I don't care about your life like you care about me. She really got a laugh that you were going to go directly to a judge, and her favorite part was that he was in court on a Friday, but would be available to see you on Monday. Yeah, your sister, the judge, knows how the courts work here in Monmouth County. Of course, I knew you would have some lame reason why you couldn't fulfill this fantasy. Yeah, you know, because you study me. You are so obsessed with me. Of course, I knew you would have some lame reason why you couldn't fulfill this fantasy. I see you've turned it over to God. Lovely. And by the way, I have never once in any of my videos claimed to be a Christian. The only mention of religion is when my Catholic friend died. I recited my favorite Catholic prayer. So you missed up there, honey. Why would a non-religious person be reciting a Catholic prayer? You sicko. Posting someone's private address is a violation of YouTube's policy regarding safety. If you had bothered to read that, you would see that it easily can result in not just a strike, but having your channel removed. You have no proof of that because I never did that. One of my fellow Ferds, she's friends with Ferd Filmer. And Sheila Booger. Yeah, they're big standouts, aren't they? Yeah, they're very successful on YouTube, just like you try to be. So that you had pinned it. Psst. What's the proof of that? I never pinned that. Took a screenshot, reported it to YouTube, and then sent me an email about it. By the time I looked, I saw that you had taken it down, or YouTube had taken it down. Don't know which, but I would suggest that you not do that. You gonna shake your little bony finger at me? Do you know that I received 2 death threats from this? I hope your billionaire neighbor and his machine gun toting cronies are protecting you now. And I hold you personally responsible. I would also like to suggest that you remember the rules as a convicted felon. Oh, I'm a convicted felon. Oh my God. That you must live by. Namely, you're not supposed to be associating with other felons. So I'm vulnerable there. Let's see. Oh. Are you calling all my little stuffed animals felons? Kathy's not going to like that. And Daisy's not a felon. Now, I don't type. I talk into my phone. Like, you think I care that all of your words are misspelled? And Siri doesn't always get it right. So if you want to deflect with errors, fine. But I would like to suggest, madam, that you pay attention to the points I've made. If you post any personal information about me, I will go directly to the FBI, not the police station. Oh, yeah. The FBI. Aren't they the ones with the cyber stalking department? Oh, now how could that box of rotten food been mailed from the same zip code that Laura lives in? Isn't that odd that I would fly to Las Vegas, go into her house, steal the food that you could see on her old channel, which by the way is long gone, and then I boxed it up and then shipped it to me, and then I flew back to New Jersey. Yeah, makes sense, don't it, madam? If you post any personal information about me, I will go directly to the FBI, not the police station. You should also know by now, if you've done your research. No, I don't do research on you because I don't care about you. You're worthless. Yeah, you're worthless. That I will have no problem at all getting an appointment. Regards, Laura. So, I have about 50 copies of this email from her. So, for all of my subscribers who want a copy of it, send me an email and give me your address, and I'll be happy to mail it out to you. So, this is the last that I'm going to address this psycho, because I'm so sick and tired of you. And you can just keep obsessing over me and wishing that you were Glenda Sully and wishing that you had Glenda Sully's 20,000 loving subscribers. You can eat, sleep, drink, ignore your husband, ignore your schnauzers, ignore your friend. Oh, it was such an inconvenience that you had to take time out of obsessing over Glenda Sullivan to take her to the airport today. So my subscribers are sick of you, and I'm sick of you. So, if you want to keep up your little charade with your little pea-brain minions, go ahead. You're not going to affect me. I'm going nowhere. I'm going to continue with my YouTube channel, telling my little short stories. I might ad-lib a little bit to them. I might get a name here and there and fit it in with different dates and places and locations. But you're not going to be tracking me down. And you're not going to be calling my former employers. That's stalking. And it is criminal offense. So thank you guys for being here. I just want you to know that I love you. And I just want to say that instead of me saying, y'all just keep on coming back, I want to ask you, would you be willing to just keep on coming back? Good night, guys.